Manifesting my dream life, a true story. And I swear, you'll never look at your life the same again after this. If you had told me 2 years ago that I'd be living in a beachfront apartment, working from my laptop, traveling to places I once only saw in magazines, I would have laughed. Not because I didn't want it, I wanted it more than anything, but because I had no idea how to get there. This is my story of how I went from burned out, broke, and broken to completely rewriting the script of my life. And it all started with one thing: the decision to believe it was possible. I remember the moment clearly. It was 2:13 a.m. I was sitting on the bathroom floor, crying silently, afraid to wake anyone up. My bank account was at a negative $13. My phone had just been disconnected, and the job I hated had been let go that morning. I wasn't just broke. I was mentally, emotionally, and spiritually drained. Everything felt like it was closing in. Couldn't breathe. I had nothing left, except a question echoing in my mind. Is this really how my story ends? That night, something cracked open inside me. I looked at the mirror, eyes swollen, and whispered something I'd never said before. There's gotta be more than this, and I'm going to find it. The next morning, I searched for something, anything, to give me hope. That's when I stumbled on a YouTube video that changed everything. The woman on screen said, "You're not stuck, you're programmed, and you can reprogram your reality." That hit me like lightning. For the first time, I realized I wasn't broken. I was just operating on beliefs that weren't mine. I binge-watched video after video: vision boards, journaling, quantum physics, law of attraction, affirmations. I didn't know what I was doing, but I decided to believe, to try, to show up for myself, even if I didn't fully understand the how. That week, I wrote down a single sentence in a notebook. I am living the life of my dreams. Feels good. Feels natural. It is done. I wrote it 55 times. For 5 days, I visualized. I cried. I felt. I started to believe again. By the second week, something weird happened. I got a random email from a freelance client I hadn't heard from in 11 months. They asked if I was available for a small writing project. It was only $120, but it felt like $1 million. It was proof. I said yes. I danced around the kitchen. I smiled for the first time in days. And that momentum, it lit a fire under me. I kept affirming. I meditated every morning. I walked in nature and whispered my dream life into existence. One day, I recorded a voice note. I work for myself. I wake up to the sound of the ocean. I inspire others with my story. I travel the world freely. I had no idea how that would happen, but I felt it. I lived it in my mind. Here's what no one tells you about manifestation. It doesn't just bring what you want. It turns you into someone new. I became disciplined. I got up earlier. I moved my body. I stopped talking about what I lacked and started celebrating what I had. I became magnetic. People noticed. I was glowing. I had a spark in my eye. One DM turned into a $3,000 opportunity. A podcast episode one guested on led to 20 new clients. My bank account started to reflect the abundance I felt inside. I wasn't chasing anymore. I was attracting. 6 months later, I booked a one-way ticket to Bali. I had no return date, no plan B, just a deep knowing that this was the next step. I rented a simple beach hut. Every morning, I walked along the shore and whispered, "Thank you. Thank you for this life." I worked on my laptop, started sharing my story on social media, and people began reaching out. They wanted to know how. How did I go from rock bottom to this? And so I started helping others, coaching, teaching, And with each person I helped, my own belief deepened. Here's what I've learned about manifestation. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. You have to act as if it's already yours, even when everything around you says otherwise. Gratitude isn't a reaction. It's a frequency. The universe doesn't respond to fear. It responds to certainty. Nothing is a coincidence. That song, that stranger, that email, it's all part of the alignment. I learned to trust delays, to release when things didn't work out, to say, this or something better, and I learned to live the dream now, not wait for it. One morning, I stood on the edge of a cliff in Santorini. I whispered, "Show me what's next." Hours later, I received an invitation to speak at a global summit about my journey. That talk went viral. My life exploded in the best way. I met the love of my life at that summit. We built a business together, a lifestyle, a reality that felt like a dream. But none of that would have happened if I hadn't believed first. If I hadn't dared to say, I am meant for more. So, if you're watching this and you're struggling, if your life feels small, if your heart aches for something bigger, know this: you are not crazy. You are being called. And you don't need to know the how. You just need to know it's possible. I'm living proof that one small decision can shift your entire reality. You are powerful. Your words are seeds. Your vision is sacred. Don't wait. Speak it. Feel it. Live it. Because the dream you're afraid to say out loud is already yours. If this touched your heart, comment "It is already mine" below. Subscribe for more real stories and powerful manifestation content. Download my free manifestation starter journal link in the description.